shit, strap on your seatbelt because this is Stirring the Pot with Don Kincaid and my very special guest. I call him the champ because he is the champ. One Dominick Denaro. Thank you so much for stopping in to Stirring the Pot, my man.
It's an honor, man. Thank you for having me.
Dude, this is the times we're in right now. It's a little wacky. Now, for me, I got my job out there because we're the essential kind of thing. But if I'm not mistaken, you're in New York City where there's a lot of crazy shit going on. Please tell us what's going on. Are you all right? What's happening down in New York City?
Well, thank God my family, we're all good. Nobody has it. A few friends I know have it and have spread it to their families. So I definitely advise we all take this very seriously. I mean, in New York, a couple, it's like divided. You'll see so many people outside in the parks congregated together, and it's just like, why? You understand this spreads in numbers. Just listen to what the government is telling you to do. They're not doing it to punish you. They're doing it so we can get on with our lives faster. So.
Well,
for the most part, I've been staying in, working out, catching up on a few books, studying tape.
You're able to get some workouts in because a lot of the men and women, they don't have anything at the house, so they'll throw around some cardio or stuff. But
let me take you on a little tour. I have a little bit of a gym in my house.
Please do.
That's the kitchen TV. That's 65 inches.
Damn.
Yeah. So all right. So we'll start with the elliptical. Not too many people have one of these. I am blessed to have one.
Nice.
So my roommate is an electrician, and an old Catholic high school was remodeling and converting into another school. So they threw away their whole entire weight set. So we have legitimate.
Wow.
We have up to 110-pound dumbbells. Like, we're good, man. And then I have the Olympic system, with squat bar, pull-up bar, the pulley system, everything. Got my heavy bag. So, I'm doing all right. All right.
Yeah, you seem to be well prepared for being shut in as the workout situation is,
For the entertainment system, I don't know if you could see any of this, but this is my collection of Nintendo games. For 120 in box, probably another 200 assorted ones out of box. A lot of stuff is boxed up right now because I'm in the middle of moving everything to my upstate house where I'm going to make an entire game room. So,
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I've been doing well in the quarantine.
So I've come to find doing these Skype interviews with the men and women, most of them are already kind of like introverts anyway. So this is kind of, it sucks, but it's really no big deal. Are you more of a homebody kind of guy anyways, or?
Yeah, I like to keep to myself these days, I used to be heavy in the bar scene. So, I kind of stay home and just try to stay out of trouble.
I can definitely feel that. That's why I'm doing this right now, my friend.
Nothing wrong with that.
Again, I appreciate your time because what I like to do is give the fans, even in your area or your peers in your area, a chance that don't know Dominick Denaro and the fans in our area, because you're from New York City and you have been spreading your wings in our area a little bit more often than not, which is fantastic for me because once I seen you, I'm like, I got to get me some more Dominick Denaro. And yeah, man, it's been fantastic. So you're based out of New York City, and I'm just going to throw it out there because you are the champ, the most recent champion that Bronx Federation, BWF, Bronx Wrestling Federation has. Is that your home base, BWF?
Bronx Wrestling Federation at the time is my home base. They've been very good to me. I've been wrestling there for a little over 2 years. We're on a little bit of a resurgence. You were at the show that was completely sold out when I won the title.
It was crazy.
We have a little buzz going, and we take everything very seriously, from the production of the promos to agenting the matches and pushing who needs to be pushed to elevate us as the new generation. And I got nothing but love for the Bronx Wrestling Federation.
Well, you took the fans on a hell of a ride while we were there. I came with Laura C. She's obviously a big fan of you. I mean, holy
Love the
crap.
Radish sisters. They are you and them are what the wrestling indie community needs. Passionate fans.
Well, I appreciate that, sir. Me and Laura C. were present when you won the championship, and I'm so honored to have been there. Now, again, you mentioned that place was jam packed, sold out, and that holds a pretty good number of people in there. And the crowd there is very, very different than anywhere that I've ever been in wrestling. You took the fans on one hell of a ride against the champ then, TJ Marconi, who is a much bigger competitor than you. Talk us through winning that championship in front of your home base crowd. The crowd was absolutely fucking hot, man. I mean, lava hot. Take us through that, man.
Well, big ups to TJ Marconi. He's one hell of a worker, one hell of a storyteller. And this all dates back to about a year and a half ago when Satsujin, my group's, my stable, we invaded the Bronx Wrestling Federation from Breed Combination Wrestling, and we forced everyone to step their game up, and we went into a year-long storyline with TJ and company, and it kind of like fizzled into a feud between me and him. And I don't know, the rest is history. I don't even know what to say, man. I was totally taken back when they gave me the opportunity, and I started to step my game up with my promos and taking things a lot more serious, my training, my diet. Yeah, and I just thanked them for the opportunity. I cried after the pinfall. That was legit tears.
You did, and man, the way the setup is for those that don't know, the setup is a walkway that comes through. There's guardrails, and it leads you out. There's all sorts of light. There's all sorts of music. The music is crazy in there. The fans, again, are much different environment than most places in wrestling. And the crowd absolutely lost their shit, man. And you came walking down into that tunnel, and I didn't take footage from where I was sitting because the seats were a little farther back, and I like to get that cleaner footage, so I didn't really take shit for footage. But when I seen you win that belt and you came walking through that little area, I had to get up off my ass, turn on my phone, and I got some raw feeling from the champ winning the belt. That's the shit I love as a fan. And you were like, fuck yeah, man, thank you for the support. And dude, I love that shit that you give to us. That's amazing, man. And now, what happens from that? We have a weird connection. I think you're frozen a little bit.
Frozen too. Are we good now? You see me?
I believe so. It's a little wonky.
Okay. You want me to try changing rooms?
It kind of froze for a little bit, but we might be okay.
Okay. Bad.
Yeah.
Let me try changing rooms. Hold on.
That'd be fine.
There's plenty of space. Yeah.
Okay. all right. It wasn't working very well before.
Is it working good in here? You see me?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, that seems a bit better. Yeah.
Give me 1 second.
Sure.
All right, there we go. We're back at it.
All right, we'll try that. Yeah. I mean, the relationship between the fans and the wrestlers, that raw emotion feeling right there, I just had to capture that. I would have kicked my ass if I went home and didn't do that.
Yeah, I guess the crowd sees a lot. I'm identical with the crowd in a universal way where I'm just like, I'm a young scrapper that just don't take shit from nobody. I mean, I'm a bit on the small side for a wrestler, so I guess they identify with that too. Like, if I could do it, they could do it. Maybe they see a little bit of me, like, living vicariously through me. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but yeah, they tend to latch on to the realism in my character, because it's just me toned up to it like 1,000, but it is me. That's definitely who I am.
uh, when you come out, and I talk a lot about character on these interviews, you just said that that's pretty much just me, but I'm amping it up because wrestling is over the top. It's larger than life.
Right.
But you're just amping all of that up. Is this something that it's like, Dominick Denaro behind the curtain, he's a little more reserved, I mean, he's a New Yorker because not many New Yorkers are reserved, but he's a little more reserved, and he's just not as quite as amplified as what we see when you bring that character out. How can you separate those two characters but being the same person?
Well, in my 20s, I was a lot more wild, and I had to learn the hard way to tone it down. So these days, I just try to carry myself in a different light, and I try not to burn bridges, try to act accordingly, professionally. But I always still have that in the back of my mind of who I was. Mm-hmm. And I only like to translate that in the ring.
I tell you, and I've said this more than once, and it's not because I'm sitting with said person, but characters really hit me. And when somebody comes out the curtain, and I go to all of these shows with my dad, and he's one to either criticize or latch on to a character as well. But dude, Dominick Denaro came out. You were with your partner Chris Barton, if I'm not mistaken. It was the very first time I tested strength wrestling at a training day, and you guys came in, and I knew of you, but I didn't know who you guys were. And both me and my dad, we were all about you and Chris Barton as a tag team, and it just kind of snowballed from there. First, let's talk about the tag team, and we're gonna lead into the squad in a bit. Talk about your tag team partner Chris Barton.
Well, first and foremost, shout out to Chris Barton. You could follow him on all social media platforms, Instagram _official Barton. I think that's what it is. He's gonna kill me for this. Just look up. But me and Chris been training since day one. He was training a little longer than I was. There's a huge age gap between us. I'm in my 30s and he's 20.
Oh, but, wow.
Yeah. But we have a certain dynamic. We train together. He had a big part in my basics, helping me with them. And when it was time for him, when he was legal age to debut, he asked me if I wanted to be his tag team partner, and I said yes because I was growing really close to the kid at the time. I just wanted to help him have the best possible first match he could. And from then there it was history. We literally hit the road every weekend. I think our first year we were booked 3 times a weekend, whether it be Brooklyn, Queens, Long Island, Jersey, eventually Connecticut. We were getting our feet wet. We didn't take no time off.
And you spoke about the squad. Now, as a tag team, it was a separate name. Could you tell us what the name of the tag team was?
The tag team was the East Coast Syndicate, which evolved into the Satsujin Squad once we started working for Bree Combination Wrestling.
Okay.
Yes, and that's led by Eric Jaden. Rick Recon, a good friend of ours, is a part of the crew. And then we have 2 managers, Nia Kennedy and Mark Schwann.
So there's a total of 6 of you in the squad?
Yes, there's a whole bunch of us.
I did not even realize you had 2 managers. Please explain to myself now, obviously, and the fans, what do you do with 2 managers? Why 2 managers, and how do you kind of utilize them?
Well, we utilize Mark on the commentary to make sure that there's no biased opinions, to make sure that Satsujin gets its respect. He makes sure they throw respect on our name. And we also like to call him Hollywood because he hooks us up and he gets us some booking opportunities, whether it be on film commercials, at other promotions. He does his role. And then we got Nia. Nia's been in the business for about 35 years now. She's traveled up and down the road with everybody, you name them. So it's always just good to pick her brain. And, we keep them around. No, not that we keep them around. We love each other. We're a very close squad. And, we absorb as much as we possibly can from her.
That's got to be fantastic to be able to pick from the brains of a veteran that's been
Absolutely.
up and down the road, you know?
Even Eric Jaden. I mean, he's not as long as 35 years, but he's been up and down the road, and he's seen it all.
Right. Now, how did the Sasujin, am I saying that correctly?
I'm saying it correctly. Don't worry.
Now, Sasujin squad used to be something else. Could you take us through and how? Okay, first, how did the squad become? Second, what was I want to say maybe because I came in late, the original name or previous to this one, and how did it all evolve up to now?
Okay. So there's this local promotion called Legendary Action Wrestling. And Eric Jaden had this idea that we invade as Bree Combination Wrestling other federations and take them over. And he was starting to like put together a little death squad. We'll call it at first. That wasn't the original name, but we'll just call it a death squad for now. And, you know, there was a lot of names thrown in the hat. Who was going to be in this group? And Eric Jaden came to bat for guys like me, Rick, and Chris Barton, and said, "No, I want some homegrown talent that we could build up and elevate and create." So I just so happened to be running the ring crew for my former boss. I used to run ring rentals, and me, Barton, and Rick were there. And Jaden, you know, he proposed to us, "Would you like to do a run-in tonight?" And I said, "Absolutely." Absolutely. So, you know, we got in the ring. We threw this guy, Frankie Flo, a beating. We beat up half his roster. And then at the end of the night, he approached us with promoter for Bree Combination Wrestling, Anthony Cole. And, you know, they came to us with this proposition of, you know, a stable. And as a greenhorn, you know, I just wanted to be part of the business, you know, in any capacity. And I found that this was definitely like me falling into some luck because it sounded really cool. And the first incarnation of the group was called the Deadly Saiyan Squad. And mind you, I've never seen an episode of Dragon Ball Z. So I was like, yeah, whatever, man. And 2 weeks later, I was wearing a Scouter, which I was not a big fan of. And neither was Chris Barton. But, you know, we kept it professional, and we did what we had to do. We went on. We've been successful for 2 years as a group. And eventually, it started to catch on, and we got a little cease and desist letter for wearing the Scouters and using the name Saiyan in our group name. So we had to alter things. So one night, we all just came together with a list of names. And I believe it was Chris Barton who came up with the name Satsujin, which means murder in Japanese.
Okay.
So we're basically the murder squad.
Well, I can never remember it, and I was dreading this from when I woke up this morning because I got to tell ask Dominick Denaro about the Sasujin squad, and if I don't say it right, he's gonna fucking strangle me.
Well, you know, you're doing a good job with it, man.
All right.
Some people just can't get it. Like, they're like, sad Susans? What? Like, yeah, man, whatever, dude. You'll get it right when we're beating you up in the middle of the ring.
Now, all of you guys combined together and singles wrestlers, you all have this smash mouth, beat 'em up kind of attitude no matter where you go, no matter if it's one of you, two of you, four of you, three of you, it doesn't matter, or if it's all six of you, now that I know that that's a thing. That's obviously all of your forte. Is that the kind of style of wrestling that you were coming up on, or did you like a different type of style and now you've kind of grown into this kind of wrestler, or what kind of style are you really into?
Well, I like to take a little from each style. You know, I used to love World of Sport growing up. I used to love watching the AWA. Of course, you know, Monday Night Raw and Nitro, yada, yada, yada. I took a little hiatus from wrestling in like 2004. And then I picked back up in 2006 when I fell in love with Ring of Honor. And that's when I got into that high-paced matches, you know, the fast-paced stuff, mixed with the strong style. And I was fascinated by that. But it wasn't until, like, you know, when I started training, I did a little of everything. I was trained by the Grim Reaper. I don't know if you heard of him, but he's like a legend around.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he had us doing a lot of lucha stuff incorporated with, you know, just like insane type moves that I still haven't incorporated into my moveset. So watch out, you know, I got some stuff up my sleeve. But Yeah, like the more I wrestled, the more I just realized that that kind of stuff didn't work for me, and just being like a scrapper, is more realistic for my cup of tea,
Hmm.
So I throw a lot of strong strikes, a couple mixed martial arts kicks, a couple submissions, but I just like to keep it gritty.
Okay. And a lot of guys that are your size, because they are on a smaller stature, usually want to do the crazy flippy shit and make the crowd freak the fuck out and get those big oohs and ahs and stuff. You're comfortable where you are, but you say you can do some of that, and you're saying you never know what's going to come in the future. So when when in a wrestler's mind, because many things make get my curiosity in wrestling. When is there a time when you're like, you know what? I know I can do. I'll just use like a moonsault from the top rope. I'm gonna start using that on X opponent or X day. How does that even come about?
Well, it's all about the crowd. You got to read the crowd and what they want. So sometimes like I like flips. I could do all sorts of flips off the top rope, but I'm saving those for very big moments. Like I feel like that's when my character should pull things out. Like I don't know if I'm pulling too far back on the curtain. I'm sorry if I'm offending the wrestling community, but
No, no, but that's what we do. We pull back the curtain just a little bit. It's okay.
a little bit, right? Just a
Yeah,
little bit.
I get it. Yeah.
Well, like I said, yeah, I like to pull those things out in like WrestleMania style moments, in my career, which would be like, world title shots or tag team championship matches with Chris Barton and stuff like that. Like we have a match coming up with the Ugly Ducklings once this is all over, and we have a lot of crazy stuff planned, stuff you would not expect either of us doing. And that's a big, my partner's a big boy, but he is an agile big boy.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's what happened when my dad and I saw you guys, because it was like, man, the two of them, the size difference is there, and they really make it work because, you've got that power, and then you've got, like you're saying, the scrapper and stuff. But man, you guys just really make the performance in the ring, the story work, because we were right on board with you guys. And my dad's like, who are those guys? I go, I don't know. I'm filming and I'll figure that shit out once we're done.
Well, one thing that I try to do in all my matches is during my entrance, try to really get as much of my character out as possible. And I try to engage with as many fans as possible before I even get in the ring. Just, to kind of give them a little like exposition of who I am. Because I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. That's something that's very vital on these interviews. It's the signals from when you very first walk out to us. Mm-hmm. What are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to react? Right. And you guys, you hit it spot on every time. And it's kind of weird because you're mostly a villain, if you will, in most places, but you've been cheered in other places, and my mind doesn't want to do that. I want to always boo you, and it kind of twists my shit up a little bit.
Yeah. We're not like full-fledged heels anymore. We play the line of tweeners, because some people just like rooting for the aggressors. Like I also got, I also do a lot of stuff with CZW Dojo Wars. I'm currently one of their tag team champions, and over there, we're billed as heels, but I can't get that crowd to hate me for nothing. I don't know if it's because I'm a bad heel or if it's just like that type of shit. I don't know.
It's modern wrestling. That's what's going on, my friend. It's modern wrestling. You can be a heel all you want. Sometimes the fans just don't give a flying fuck, and you want to cheer the bad guy anyways,
Like what they like,
Yeah, man. That's got to be a fun ride, though. When you come out and you get that something from the crowd, and then once you get into the ring and you're doing your art and you're performing, and those certain little things that happen, and the crowd reacts. That's the kind of shit that you guys, you men and women, seem to mostly feed off of, but not everybody hears the crowd or the fans. Is that something you've had to work on, or is it something that just kind of came right to you?
Well, it comes with the reps, you know what I mean? It's like working different crowds. and learning how to draw different emotions out of them. And, you know, sometimes you'll have a crowd that's just not into it, or they're just not the cheery type of fans. So you have to like find creative ways to get those people to make reactions.
Mm.
You know?
I want to bring it to my area a little bit. We talked about Test of Strength.
Yep.
You do some cool shit over there. But you've also got your feet wet over at the Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling, and they've actually given you some pretty cool opportunities over there as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right now, Richard Holiday is, how they say, on fire now.
On fire.
He's signed to MLW, but PAPW is his home base, and he always comes back to where he started from. How was it? How was it knowing that you're going to go up against a guy who's doing the TV thing? He's got that thing going on. And I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Dominick Denaro, but do you walk into a match like that that's a little higher profile? Does it change your mindset walking in?
Well, I found out that I was facing him the night before. So I was a little nervous because I didn't have enough time to prepare, and I was just coming back from a hamstring tear that I worked through. And on that given night, we had the crowd in the palm of our hands in that match. But at one point, I went for a kick, and I aggravated the torn hamstring. And, Richard's a great guy. He helped walk me through the rest of it, and he took care of me, but I want a chance to prove myself again. I definitely want a rematch in that.
So you're right here, right now on Stirring the Pot. Dominick Denaro is saying he would love a rematch against one Richard Holiday?
Absolutely. Hey, tell him to get a tag team partner, me and Rick Recon, We can go at it.
Now, that's somebody else that I haven't touched on, and I want to touch on Mr. Recon and Mr. Jaden, but Mr. Recon has really made a splash in my area. I'm seeing that guy more and more in the Connecticut scene. His element to the squad, that dude is an animal. He comes in and he does some pretty cool stuff. Talk about Mr. Recon and the squad and how you're seeing his career blossom right now.
Well, when I first met Rick, he was a little, his footwork was a little clumsy. He was still finding out who the cyborg was. And over these past 2 years, he's blossomed into an amazing wrestler. Like, the guy is the definition of hard work. He kind of keeps us all on our toes in that aspect. It's like, oh, we got to make sure we work out and look good because Rick's going to blow us all out of the water and look like a fucking WWE star. So he definitely motivates me. And he's a very positive person, very uplifting. We speak every day, all of us. And, yeah, man, like Rick's been doing his thing. He just had a couple of big high-profile matches. Simon Grimble. I think, unfortunately, coronavirus took its toll and it started to spread, so we all have to take a back seat for now. But once it comes back, I'm very, very confident that all of us are going to come back stronger than ever as a community.
Yeah, man. I know you guys are way more antsy than us fans. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't even say that. Maybe we're all as antsy, just waiting for wrestling to come back because we all miss it so much, man.
If I could be quite honest, I'm enjoying my time off. I'm spending a lot more time with my family. We've been going to our upstate house. This is something that my father always wanted for us to spend more time upstate together. So I feel a little bit more completed these days. Oh. And it was just the break I needed. I had some nagging injuries that are, I've been icing and rehab and stuff like that. And I'm just going to come back fresh with a clean slate, better shape, and rewrite history.
Man, sometimes you need Sometimes you need a refresher. I mean, it is what it is in wrestling. Sometimes you just need it.
I'm sure half the independent wrestling community can agree with me. The other half are selfish and just want to wrestle, but what are you gonna do?
No, I spoke to like I had 4 interviews yesterday. I have 4 again today, and I wanted to get your perspective on all the men and women coming back. I have, and I'm not trying to jinx nothing or anything like that, but I have this perspective that you guys and girls are just going to come full balls to the wall, and everybody's going to try to do all sorts of crazy shit, and everybody's going to try to top everybody else, and because the market is going to be so flooded. I'm afraid. I really am, to be honest with you. And I told him pull no fucking bullshit. I'm afraid for some of you guys and girls that it's going to be too crazy and there's going to be a lot of injuries like when this all kind of blows over and everybody's like really storming in. um do you think I'm off by saying that?
Oh no, there will be a lot of extreme, spots going on, people trying to go viral and whatnot. For the most part, like I said, it's not my style. It's not Rick's style. He will shoot that shit down if people call too much in a match. The one out of all of us would probably be Chris Barton to want to do some crazy shit. Kid wants to do Canadian destroyers and sentons off the top rope and all this crazy stuff, but he can land it, man. So more power to him. Not too many big guys his size are doing it. So yeah, I'm gonna come back. I've been studying more of the psychology of it. Less is more, as they say. And sometimes you just got to get a little bit more creative so you don't have to work as hard.
Yeah, absolutely. I've definitely heard that more than once. That's definitely for sure. Now, talking about something like that, the psychology, the storytelling, I've seen once you came to Test of Strength Wrestling, you keep coming back and back for more. Tell us the relationship between Dominick Denaro and the Test of Strength, because I want to say Slick Wagner Brown himself, great storyteller, great respect around the industry. Give us a little insight on your relationship with Test of Strength.
I guess we just clicked since the first time they seen me. Slick Wagner Brown has always had good things to say about me. He always puts me in good positions. Jay Freddy's another one, man. They're just some really good people. And they care about the progress of their workers. And he sees, everybody watches online, and they see your social media presence. And I guess they always see that I put in the work and I try to brand myself and market myself, and they can respect that. And, they just believe in me, I guess. There's something that they see that they can mold.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, because me as a fan, I latched right onto your character at fucking Test of Strength. So, I mean, you are doing something exactly right, and it could just get bigger and better and, and shooting for more goals and higher things and stuff. So we're just going to see more and more of Dominick Denaro and
Absolutely. I've spoken this a few weeks ago, and you'll be seeing a lot more of me once the shows start coming back.
That's awesome because, and I'm going to bring this up since we are talking tag team wrestling, we're talking Test of Strength. Have you seen those beautiful straps that one Joe Freddy and one Slick Wagner Brown are holding? They've been holding on to those things. They are the inaugural champions. They've been holding on to them for a little bit over a year. I would love to see the East Coast Syndicate come in, take those straps, and let's see something happen, baby.
I was this close last time, me and Robo, the Punjab Lion. If you don't remember, we had that show, man. We came very close. Shout out to Robo, man. That guy is a beast. He's going to be somewhere very soon.
Man, he looks camera ready. I mean, that guy looks camera ready.
Humble dude, man. He's just so easy to work with.
Yeah.
Shout out to that dude, man.
Now, I want to talk about, is he the leader? And because he is I guess he's the originator of this whole squad setup. So Eric Jaden is the leader of this whole squad. Give us, the fans, a little bit of insight of Eric Jaden, your relationship, to how the squad, kind of comes under the tutelage of him.
Well, we speak on a day-to-day basis. We have a group chat going. And, Jaden's always reminding us to stay humble and telling us inside business news and stuff like that and what we should and shouldn't do. And sometimes me and him, we bump heads because I just have a thing with authority. So I hate being told what to do, but at the same time, I appreciate it and it always resonates. And yeah, man, he's just a great guy. He's been around the business for a while. He's seen some shit, and he wants nothing but the best for us. You know, and it took me a little while to realize that, but now that I do, we're going full force, and I got nothing but love and respect for that man.
That's cool. The four of you, and I know you have two managers, but the four of you I've seen perform maybe two or three times at best, because of the difference here. But man, when you guys are all together, and you're never not on the same page. You're always on the same page. There's no miscommunication in there. You all play a very intricate part. You know what to do, when to do it. And I want to bring it back to BWF because that's where I've actually seen you guys perform all together.
Right.
That fucking crowd, dude. I don't know why or what it is. Maybe it's New York. I just don't get it or what it is. The fucking crowd is insane down there. How is it different going from your home base with the full squad running amok to maybe going to PAPW where it's just a little bit of different vibe and you're doing a singles match? How does that really contrast from one to another?
Well, you know, I always like the challenge, so I like to go out there on my own sometimes. I feel like it's the only way to truly grow is if you go to new places, you know, and like we said before, and try to engage different crowds and try to draw different emotions out of them and seeing what works and what don't work. You know, I don't see too much of a contrast in it. You know, I'm really used to the pressure by now. So,
and dude, I see your game face on every time, and I'm like, I don't know who would want to fuck with that dude, and why. I mean, for real.
Sometimes we do good, sometimes we fail, but you know, in failure we learn. So,
now in wrestling, and it doesn't matter if it's indie, you know, where we're at right now, or if it's on the grander stage, being the ROH and the WWE and such. There's always communication that not every single match, but there's always a communication that happens somewhere down the line in a match. Is that something like you're like, fuck, man, that was so on me, or that son of a bitch should have been doing this? I really like to get a little insight from a wrestler's perspective on when those miscues happen. How do you take those? Do you look back on them and prove them, or do you look back and go to your opponent and be like, hey, you stupid bastard, what the fuck was that all about? How do you work through those kind of things?
it's a little bit of, it's like a 50-50 thing, you know. Sometimes, you know, we're all our own worst critics. So sometimes when like a botch, say, is on us, especially me, I tend to beat myself up over it after the match. It's very important when you mess up in the match to just keep going, whether it's on your opponent or you. It's your job and responsibility to not only protect your opponent out there, but to make them look good, especially as a heel, or you're not doing your job.
Oh, I think he froze.
Backstage, what happened?
Yeah, you froze just for a little smidge there.
All right. So, you know, sometimes I would get mad and I'd go backstage. I wouldn't blow up on anybody. I would just go to myself, calm down, and then go reach out for my opponent, apologize to them, you know, discuss what happened, and we leave it at that. You know, it's best to stay on good terms with your peers.
That's cool. Yeah, absolutely. Because
no one's, you know, at this level, no one's higher than anyone. No one's better than anyone. We're all here just trying to make something for ourselves.
Right. Now I noticed there's etiquette behind that curtain. There's specific etiquette, and even when you come to the ring, there's specific etiquette that has to be done and should be done. When the men and women go behind the curtain,
right.
When everything is being set up, everybody's shaking everybody's hands. Everybody's introducing themselves,
right.
Just out of respect. And it doesn't matter who it is. If it's somebody setting up the ring, or if it's the top talent on the card or what have you.
Production assistant, somebody setting up chairs. It doesn't matter who. We're all in this together.
Yeah, man. Now, my perspective, I love to kind of live through you guys because I don't know shit behind that curtain. And I try to give the fans a little more perspective. When there's the top names, and I'm not going to use no names, but say say a promotion you're working for brings in an older WWE name. We'll just randomly say.
A marquee name in the middle of the poster, that dude.
Exactly. Thank you for saying that. I didn't really know how to put that. Do you find that it takes away from the talent because the local talent has been doing just fine? There's no need to bring him in, or do you see it as like, you know what? That's some fucking cool ass marketing. Let's bring in X name and let's really fucking bang it up. How do you perceive the big names coming in on the marquee?
They're needed, not always, but they are needed. Sometimes they do help bring notoriety to certain feds, and with meet and greets and all alone, they bring people in, and they definitely deserve their respect. And sometimes they're there to put over the home talent and make them look good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nothing. And even if not, that you have a set of eyes that's been through it all, that you can go after your match and be like, "Hey, sir, did you happen to watch my match? Is there anything that you could tell me to fix, or anything you've seen that I'm doing that's wrong?" There's so many different ways to go about it, but the best way to go about it is just show respect and not worry about that type of stuff.
But I was kind of curious because I mean, it sometimes it's just out of the blue. Yeah. You'll just see a big name thrown on a card, and I'm like, okay, well, all right,
It doesn't bother me. No, it doesn't. It shouldn't bother any worker.
And I mean, I know it's to draw, to for the eyes to get that draw. But I love, and I really do love that intimate setting of the indie wrestling, because the fans and the wrestlers, we really get to interact.
Absolutely.
The ambiance is always just fucking fire. I mean, it's never not a good time at indie wrestling. So at the bigger shows, and I'm not putting the bigger shows off, but we're more set together. Do you like the fans a little more pushed back, or do you like them a little more tight in like that?
I like an intimate crowd. Like a goal of mine is to get on Beyond at some point, either this year or next year. Gotcha. I love the way that's set up, where there's no barricades. It's just fans on top of the ring. I love that. I feel like I would strive in that type of energy.
Beyond is one of those companies that's always brought up in these interviews. Right now, man, I mean, they have some of the coolest names that pass through there that end up on the big screen, if you will, right. In our homes or whatever. Is that something that Dominick Denaro is striding for in wrestling? Because not everybody is striding for WWE and wants to be on TV. Is that something that you're looking ahead to as a wrestler?
Well, in my senior year of wrestling, because it'll be year 4 soon, I would love to be on Beyond, because I feel like I'd be at the level where I could learn from that. After a while, you have to work with people better than you to, get to that next level. And I feel like I'm on the cusp of being at the level where I would be able to be welcome there.
Okay.
Only time will tell. But yeah, as for TV, I mean, if I was to make TV, great. I mean, my boy Tristan Ty, Kiro Kwan from MLW, shout out to Tristan. He got noticed because of his shot at Beyond, and next thing you know, now he's on MLW TV.
Yeah, right. That's all right. Now, you did show us that. What's that on your neck, please? Show us one more time.
Oh, that's the CZW Dojo Wars Tag Team Championship.
Give us some of that. What's going on with that?
All right. So for the past year and a half, myself, all of East Coast Syndicate, myself, Chris Barton, Gabriel Sky, and Tristan Ty, we've been getting our feet wet down in CZW Dojo Wars, and really fine tuning our what's the word I'm looking for? We're fine tuning things. Let's just put it that way, polishing up. I'm at a loss right now, and some of us has moved on, like Gabe and Alex have moved on. Gabe and Tristan Ty have moved on to the main roster, and me and Chris were going through limbo for a little bit, but we're starting to work our way up, and You know, hard work pays off, baby. Hard work pays off. And I don't tag with Chris Barton at CZW. I tag with a fellow named Key Min. He's one of he's a CZW Dojo Wars student, very talented kid. Just did a tour in Germany. And yeah, we have some chemistry too. You should look it up. Look up Valor on YouTube.
Yeah, Valor.
Valor, yes, we're a 4-man stable.
Okay, I'm definitely interested in that because if you're not tag teaming with Chris Barton and at the at the dojo, God, I'm so tongue tied now. You just twisted my effing mind up, dude. I have to look this guy up because if he's tagging with you, I gotta check this dude out, man.
Yeah, a lot of our content. If you subscribe to CZW Dojo Wars, it's updated daily. A bunch of matches of ours up there. A bunch of matches of Chris Barton's are up there. Yeah. You know, like I call it home. CZW's home to me. You know, they've taken the time to help fine tune us and just they're always there if we need them. You know, to pick their brains. And all the students are class acts. All the trainers are class acts. Just all around good people.
Wow. So you're at that dojo quite often in comparison to maybe anywhere else, probably?
I would say it once to twice a week.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. I've seen some of the familiar faces that I've learned to meet from the New York City area that's come to test your strength, like a Karen Bam Bam.
That's my girl. That's my girl.
Yes, please. I wanted to throw that name at you because she is quite the character all around. Give us a little insight, the fans, please, that don't know of Karen Bam Bam. That girl can light up a crowd instantly. She is.
But see how you just snap your fingers? And a snap of a finger, she could also turn that off and beat a bitch's ass, if you know what I mean. You know, there's a very fine line. You know, she could smile. It's all smiles until you mess with her, and then bye black sheep.
Oh man, she is so much fun. She's got this thing called the Squish-a-Bish tour. Oh god, I love that shit. She is so much fun.
The Squish-a-Bish Express.
Yes. Yeah. Oh man, any show she's on, she gets the crowd immediately engaged. She's so infectious when she comes out that curtain.
I spend a lot of time with Karen. She's my training partner. She's my partner on the road. You know, she's just one of my best friends. You know, we spend a lot of private time together and just, you know, watch tape and just hang out. You know, she's one of my homies.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. And I see a lot of good things coming in her future in the next year. She's just starting to get steam.
Oh my God, when she because she's a bigger girl, when she comes out and does that twerking thing, the crowd eats that up every single time, man.
Check out her YouTube page. Look at the views, man. The numbers don't lie.
Do you know I get some views, but I don't get like crazy views or whatever. That girl, I have a bunch of her matches on my tube, but there's 3 of the matches that are mostly seen on my YouTube, and those are Karen Bam Bam matches.
Yes. Intergender matches and female matches tend to get a lot more views on YouTube. So, you know, throw a couple of those up there if you want, you want to get your views up.
Speaking of intergender, that thing's like it's a hotbed in wrestling right now.
It is. It is.
Are you good going into the intergender thing? Because not everybody's all that comfortable.
I am. It's just, right place, right time.
Gotcha.
I just had an opportunity I had to turn down where I was actually going to work Karen. And I've been looking forward to this moment for a long time, but, just it wasn't the right place, right time. It'll happen. It'll happen in the near future.
That'd be a blast, man.
Oh, yeah.
I noticed, we talk about character a lot on this, on the interviews and such. I mean, you guys have your own characters and whatnot, but, Dominick Denaro, as we said before, it seems just like a regular dude. He's coming out with some black on or what have you. Doesn't fuck around a whole lot. And he's just a smash mouth in your face kind of guy. He don't fuck around. If you heckle him, he'll heckle you right back. I've seen you've actually you did a little something with my nephew one time at training day, and I'll never forget it. It was fucking amazing.
I remember it was the 8-man with the filthy family.
Yes. Oh my god.
A lot of fun.
So those are the things that we as fans we never forget. And obviously, you just named off the match right off the top of your head. That is amazing, my friend.
It's moments. I live for the moments, and that was a moment I remember.
Yeah, man. Is there, before I let you go, is there any message to your peers, to anybody out there that's watching? I mean, because let's be honest, it might just be my fucking mom and dad watching this shit. I apologize. I'm sorry. But
Mom, Dad, hello.
but if there's anybody more watching besides mom and pop, is there any message that, you know, because of the whole COVID thing going on, or anything you want to throw out there? You got any message that you want to say?
Everyone just stay safe and healthy. Spend some time with your family. Exercise if you can. This will all be over shortly. Give it a month or two. The government is not trying to hurt us by keeping us in. They're trying to stop the spread of this thing. Yeah. Conspiracy theorists and all these people that read fake, false information on social media. They don't even read the clips. They just share the thumbnail of the link, you know, and it has like a headline that's like National Enquirer fucking-esque. But, wrestling's going to come back. It's not going anywhere. You know, I know there's a lot of workers out there that are antsy and depressed that their bookings got canceled, but guess what? Life goes on, you know.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that's well put, my friend. And just for the fans, so we can connect with Dominick Denaro, give us some of that social media jazz.
Well, you know, you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, all Dominick Denaro. I don't do the TikTok. I refuse to do the TikTok. Well, I don't know. Maybe 3 more weeks into quarantine, I might have a TikTok. But you never know, you know. But yeah, hopefully those 3. You can find me on YouTube. I'm lacking in the subscribers. Maybe you guys can help me out at Dominick Denaro. And, you know, that's pretty much all the places you could find me.
All right, cool. I'm going to take that YouTube channel and maybe I'll give it a share. See if we can spread some of that Dominick Denaro love.
Same thing with the Kincaid files, brother.
Yeah, baby. Dominick Denaro, I cannot thank you. This for me, I mean, and I'm not fucking with you at all. This for me personally was actually a special get, because getting you to sit down and talk in an interview, I'm like, this guy's never going to say yes. And I was kind of coaxed into it a little bit more. And I'm like, dude, when you were like on board, I was like, fuck yeah. So thank you so much for sitting down and talking to me and the fans, man.
I drove from Newburgh 2 hours to get to my house in Brooklyn to make sure I had internet connection to have this interview. So how you doing?
Oh, dude, how you doing? This was that was fantastic.
There you go, boy.
Was stirring the pot with Don Kincaid and my very, very special guest, the champ, Dominick Denaro. Thank you, my man.
Thank you, man. Hope to see you soon. Stay safe and healthy.